Sylvia, you've been an artist for quite a few years in New York, in Paris, and Provence. How important is work to your life? And we'd like to hear a few of your highlights, the highlights of your career when you started after Parsons.
I'm a little lost here. I don't understand. You have to...
you were when you were in Parsons, you started going to the galleries and discovered Picasso and all of the other artists that were exposing at the time.
Well, that's when I said I went back to work as a waitress so that I could paint at night. And finally, I think, I don't really remember, Cooper Union and then the Brooklyn Museum asked me to come and teach. And well, that was before the 46, 45. Yeah, Cooper Union, 46. I came to Paris the first time in 1946, right after the war. So I had been teaching in Parsons and Cooper Union already, you see. And then I came back, and I stayed in New York after being in Paris for 2 years, 1946. I stayed 2 years in America, and I left in 1950, Christmas, forever.
Okay, tell us a little bit about your experiences when you were in Parsons and afterwards, how you got started.
While I was in Parsons, I discovered 57th Street, and there were things called galleries, and there were paintings. And when I saw those paintings, I knew that that's really what I wanted to do. I didn't want to do fashion drawings, but I had to eventually still think of doing them. But I began painting at the same time. And I don't know how to say this. No. Because then
when did Moses come into your life?
When I graduated from Parsons, I had a friend who also wanted to paint, and I went to see her. She was working in this big loft that Moses Sawyer ran, who was a painter at the time, and he helped me to start painting. No,
In what way did Moses
I got out of Parsons. I started to work as a waitress so that I could paint because I saw all these paintings. And just, you know, how things happen in life. I went to see a friend of mine who was painting, and I wanted to see what painting was like. And Moses helped me, and then had Hirshhorn, who was very important here at the Hirshhorn Museum in Washington. And he bought things from me. And so I just, I'd say that was, I've already, no, because when I came in 1950 to Paris, I had made a lot of money doing fashion drawings. And I decided that I was going to buy my studio and paint for the rest of my life. Instead, I bought a big white convertible car and traveled 5 years. No, that's what happened. I forgot about that. Until the day, because I had a friend help me with my money, because I would be off, you see. I never counted my money, I never tried to find out how much I had. And I arrived back in Paris, and I always had a little hotel room, and she lived in the same hotel. And she said, "I've got some bad news for you, honey. Good thing you came back." I said, "Why?" She said, "You don't have a cent." And I had the good luck. The art director of Au Printemps, the department store, someone I knew in America was trying to get a job there, and he said to her, "Well, the only person I really admire in America who had drawings are Braverman." And she said, "Oh, I know her, and she lives in Paris." So he said, would you have her come and have lunch with me tomorrow? No, have her come have a drink in my house with some friends, which I did. And I said, oh no, I was such a snob. I said, he would never pay me enough money. I didn't have a nickel in the bank. I said, he would never pay me enough money, because they didn't at that time. So she said, but maybe I'll get a job, please go, please go. So I went, he was charming, Baumgartner, Swiss, and he begged me to do a big job for him, the windows which you see. And I said, oh, you'll never pay me enough money, I'm sorry, I'm going back to America, it's where I really make some money. And he said, please do it just once for me. And he was so charming. I did it, and he paid me double. And from there on, he used to give me big jobs. I'd say, oh, Kimpy, I need a car, I need a new car. He said, okay, okay. And then when I'd introduce him to some people I'd meet, he'd say, never mind my name, I'm a man that supports her. And so that's when I met Vertes again. I said, I decided I made enough money, I stopped all that work, I bought myself a big studio, and I started to paint again, and I never stopped.
That's good.
Did you do that?